add another instruments? Yes. I mean, of course you can. You can, but for example, you are gonna have to stay in the rock sphere. You cannot make it to be as electronic music. And I know you know this. I'm just saying for the sake of the exercise. Like, I mean, the point of a production session is that the song remains being itself. I told you a couple of advices today that I hope they're useful about how to build your career. And one advice I want to tell you about how to engage in this type of work is that the golden rule when you engage in this type of work is this song is not yours. This song is not yours, and it will never be yours, and you should never feel it as yours. You should not get attached to it. You should not think that your decisions are better than the author's. You know, you are like a doctor, you know. It's kind of like, listen, man, you're fat. No, I want to eat chicken every night and die of a heart attack. Okay, that's your decision. Like, that's your problem. I'm just telling you, and that's how it should be, you know. I think that this is better because of t. You know, but last night I was mixing and I just said, like, okay, that's it. It's your song. Like, fine, that's a reverb. Okay. So the first rule is this is not our song. The second, this is kind of like an explanation of that task that you need to make. First rule is not your song. Second rule, you should stay in the same genre. 3, when you finish, the whole thing needs to feel that it's the same song. That it's not like we went to a new song, totally new song. Okay. So I remember that day I came to school. I drove from Domodédovo here on a Sunday morning because I was in Dacha. I absolutely clearly remember that day. And the first thing I did was to load the multitrack into Pro Tools. What does that mean? I gave you a multitrack with all the kick, snare, overheads, and all the parts of the song, and I load them into Pro Tools so I can hear all the elements. And so I went and I listened. So now that we are a little bit constrained with time because of all the computer problems that there were, let's listen to the demo, but let's keep some parts, okay? Let's just kind of get through a feel of what this was before my production. So this was kind of like that. We heard this a little bit. There is an intro, right?
Будущее ждет из-за спины, и ко мне является сквозь сны. Тот, может, скажет мне герой, но готов поспорить я с судьбой. Небо, 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 подскажи.
While I'm playing this, I'm making a summary of what we discussed today.
А чего ты шлешь такие сны?
Discussing the production, kind of like, okay, you see it had this middle part where we were, and then the song evolves back to the припев, I think.
Вроде бы метает и
It has a middle, a break in the middle. This is how the song was when they brought it to me. It had these drums there.
тихий пляж. Этой ночью берег наш.
And then it has this moment here. Wait, if this thing lets me play. Guitar solo. I don't like it. It keeps going on this solo, it develops. It ended like that. This is what they had. So I remember how this night they came, and I remember how I started. I remember everything for some reason photographically well, so I can narrate you what was coming through my mind. I want to see also if I have the bounces, because I did a first version of Okean. like a really first version of Okean that was awesome. I loved it, but they didn't want it. Like I think it's this one. You see 7th of August? Yeah, it's not this one. Okay. I don't have. I changed the rhythm structure, but I don't have an export of that. Like I show it to them, and they were like, "We don't like it," and I was like, "Oh shit!" And I just never even exported it. We saw it here together. I wish I could show it to you, but I don't have it. So okay, I loaded all my things in the multitrack, and then I started thinking and hearing. Did any guys of you, while I was playing that demo, did any of you heard any ideas in your head? By any chance? Some movement in bassline, like to change the bassline or something like that, or to add some groove to the bassline. Okay. Okay, cool, cool, and boring. I agree with you. It's too boring. Yeah, the whole song is boring. I agree with you. He pretends to be this guy, but he's not. Did you heard something in your head when you heard this? Okay, cool. That's normal, and that's because I'm kind of like pushing it because of the time constraints. What happened to me here, like I have this philosophy, which is like I cannot get stuck. So even if it's something boring or stupid, I have to do something, and then you will find out what I saw. So I remember how I started to produce this. I grabbed this. This song has this synth there, right? This is the original. And I said, I'm going to find a different sounds for that because I don't like the sound of that. That's how I started. And so I went and I built this synth. Wait. I was just like, because I was bored and I didn't know what to do. Hey. And I was like, yeah, it's like an electronic xylophone. I just opened the Prophet 5 and I built the sound, or I use a preset and I got the sound. So I was like, okay, that's nice. That was the first thing I do it. And the second thing that happened, I remember, I remember I immediately heard this thing in my head. I heard this in this part. I show you that the song has like a little crescendo in the middle. And so let me show you how it was the original. So I heard in my head, like I just heard it and I was like, let's go and do that. Actually, if I add this to the demo, that's how I can do it. If I add it to the demo, you see that I'm starting to augment the song by being very respectful and not changing anything really. It's this thing. That was the first idea I got. And then when I was doing that, I heard, and that's what usually happens. You start like, you see, I started by something boring. I copied that synth. And then I was like, while I was doing that, I heard this. I was like, oh, great. Second idea. Super. And then while I was doing that, I got this really cool idea with an acoustic guitar to complete that. And so what came out was this. Check it out. I'm going to play it to you in solo because I'm in love with this acoustic guitar. Actually, I remember I recorded it here with this mic, like super crappy. Because this is a production thing, it's not like made for. So yeah. So I heard this acoustic thing in my head. It all really started with this, like, with this kind of like, I wanted to make a counterpoint to the sol, to the, not the sol, yeah, to the solo. They have a guitar solo there. And I'm here, I'm producing, I'm being respectful, I'm not changing your song, I'm just making it more cool, like. Yeah, sometimes we delete it, but I was adding. At the beginning, my first production strategy is always like add a lot, and then remove later. Like just add everything that comes to your mind. Like don't like stop and thinking that's a bad idea or something. Just add everything you had in your head, and then you will really remove it. So how it works with the song? You see, that's my guitar. In the mix, it would sound great. You don't hear it now because it's not mixed, but... And they liked it, and they were like, oh, that's super cool. And then we decided to record an acoustic guitar support. Like, we recorded an acoustic guitar here too, to give another texture to it. And so, you see, I went from 0 ideas to 3 quite quickly. It was just like, acoustic guitar test, done, a little synth, done. And then I came to them and I was like, how can I make more money? I'm joking of course, I'm really joking. But I was thinking like, how can I make more money out of this? And I decided to make, because my strategy always is like, when I get stuck, I try to find a boring activity to get unstuck. Like, and I really invite you to do this. So I kind of got a little bit stuck, and what I decided to do is to make a map of the kick and the snare, so I can later map the bass to the kick and the snare. And in this middle of doing these boring things, you will find something inspirational. So I was like, okay, guys, sorry, this is going to take a bit of time, because remember, we're producing per hour, not per song. So for them, it can be like, man, like we're wasting time. But these guys are a case of a really nice guys that are really good, like really good guys. So we started making a new drum pattern. Like we started by making a kick and snare map, you know. And then I started hearing those toms. When I was doing that, I was like, oh shit, those toms are great, right? Like this, just to give it a bit more movement. And you see, like, and then I like to, when I create a phrase, you know, it's like if I'm gonna tell you something, if I tell you, это кофе, это хороший кофе, это не так круто, типа, я не дал много информации, если я говорю, это великолепный кофе, верно? Типа, я дал больше информации, да или нет? Когда я сказал, это хороший кофе или великолепный? Хороший, это как нет, не великолепный. Великолепный is higher than хороший, no? That doesn't mean, no, well, maybe yes. I mean, well, you're right. I'm giving information. That's not a good example. Sorry, that's not a good example. Okay, imagine, I come home to my house, and to my wife comes home from work, and I decided to dress really nicely for her, right? I decided, great, good. You're paying attention. I decided to dress good for her. And then she opened the door and said, oh, look at you. You look so beautiful. And then I go and I give her a kiss, right? I mean, this was like, I decided to get beautiful for her, and I decided to give her a kiss. So I kind of like initiated one thing and then doubled down with more information, kind of like, that's what I was trying to go. So this example that I just said, everything came out really bad. What I'm exactly trying to tell you is like, I try to build musical phrases that are kind of like more complex than just one simple idea. Like if I start saying something here, I will maybe finish that same thing in the next bar, and then the loop will be a 2-bar loop, not a 1-bar loop. So what do I mean by that? Look at this. Right? And then we wait. And then we repeat. Yeah, I mean, it's just trying to make it more interesting. And it doesn't repeat every bar, so you kind of like don't hear it all the time, and then it comes back here. And then this one, I mean, we spent really like 6 hours working these beats. Like it was really intense because the drummer was not letting go, and he wanted things to be in a certain way. So, but okay, we did it. So then we just repeated this here. We went to the hi-hat. This thing here that you're gonna hear was 100% my proposal. I felt that now we needed to have some sort of pulsation, you know. This is not how the song was. And with the acoustic guitar, it sounds beautiful, right? It's like a new song already, but it's still the same song. It's like, how was the original drums? Let's hear. It had these toms, you see? It was this pulsating thing, and I just removed everything and just left the kick there, just to make it breathe more. And added some toms, you know. And then I created, I know this pause, I think it was there by them. I created this acceleration, right? Like, let's go, let's move somewhere, you know. So I guess that here we just continued the same group of the drummer. Like they didn't let me change any groups. Like I really wrote a totally different rhythmical structure. I really wonder if I can show you that, because it was super cool, man. I was loving it so much. And let me try to see if I can find that. If you don't mind, we will stay in some 10 minutes extra or something, so I can try to show you that. It was in Okean production. I don't think I'm gonna get there, but 13th of September, no. Maybe let me see in the session file backups. Maybe I have like a version. That would be awesome if I can show it to you, because it was so cool. 7th of August. Yeah, I think it's possible that I can get there. Wait, let me save this MMS, production MMS. So 7th of August at 1 p.m. That sounds decent. That sounds like yeah, that sounds like kind of before the band arrived or something. The band arrived at 2. Like, let me see this. Let me see this. Because I was so happy, man. I changed all the rhythmical structure, and because I don't like that drummer, and I don't like what he does. I mean, I like him as a person. He's a really nice guy, but I just don't like his ideas. They're boring to me. And he really doesn't want to change. Like, he doesn't want to experience like a movement or something. It's like he wants everything to be the same. Nah, it's not here. Okay, fine. Ah? Yeah. No. It's more like we have different направления, you know, like we just have different directions. Let me see. Let me try one more session here. If this one is not the one, then it's not gonna be. I don't have it. Because I changed the ending, like how the drums work and everything. I made it a lot more rock, like, you know, because I'm more heavy guy, and I respect their decisions, you know. And a lot of times, like, their decisions, even though I disagree with them, the decisions that they make, the artists that I work with, are maybe better than my ideas, because they know the song better than me. Like, I have that humility to accept that. So, okay, we cannot do this, so let's go back to where we were. So, production, okay, and 4. Now, so once that was happening, then the musicians started arriving to me and like kind of like discussing what they wanted, because I usually, when I make these sessions, I start alone and I ask the musician, listen, give me 4 hours alone and then come later. So I can just kind of put my pod piece there, and then you will tell me if you like it or not. And so let's go. Okay, so we were here. What else happened here? I thought about creating electronic drums too. So this is what came out. Yeah. Today is that day. Oh, great. We have to have patience. So we did electronic drums. And they're not working now. That's the plugin that is giving us problems. So unfortunately, this looks like these are guitars. Let me see what happened with these guitars and what are they. Yeah, another idea that came to my mind was like, hey, let's double this bass with an octave higher. I mean, just adding ideas, and so we did. We recorded a guitar just adding an octave higher. It added to the bass, just like another layer, you know, just to have another layer. And then I thought about this crystallizer thing. This you hear these crystals. it was like a background I was creating there, just to give it a bit of, you know, more movement, more interest. It's coming from the guitars. The guitars are creating this situation. So what else came here? I also told the guys, like, hey guys, I don't like the sound of your synths. Can we improve them? And so I just went and searched for a new Rhodes, and we did it. We just changed the Rhodes for them, and so now my synths arrangement has these two new elements, this which is pretty cool. I went and I added also like a recording of the Black Sea that I made myself in Sochi. When I was in Sochi there, I just was like, guys, let's add a recording of the Black Sea there. And so that's kind of about the intro. That's all that happened there. There's nothing more special there. And now a lot of shit happened in the center of the song, and that's where we're gonna go now. Just for a couple of minutes, and
Вроде бы прекрасно всем нам, но как полнолуние настает, волк в душе скребещет, метает и ревет, чтобы ничего не томить.
here nothing big happened. I think the next conversation that we need to have is about the middle break here in the center. Yeah, this was a huge debate. This was a huge debate, and I have a lot of things to tell you about it, and that would be how we will end the session today. Look at the things that happened there. First production session, what did we had in the middle there? We had these guitars there. Dude, are you following me? You know where I am? I'm in the middle break in the center of the song. We're gonna discuss a little bit about what happened there and what were the decisions that we made. So this is kind of how it was originally. I hate that hi-hat. I wanted to remove it. Obviously, it shouldn't be there. Okay, look at the let's see what we did in the second session about that middle part, because there is a big thing that happened there. Yeah, so they started this idea, which is like, we want this piano. And I was like, no. So then we went to here, I guess. Like, I think from here it was already how it would be the ending. How it was in the end. Yeah, this was like, I was like, guys, what the fuck with this piano thing? Like, I mean, I started joking, like, what are you, Stevie Wonder or something? Like, and I was just made some memes. I even made some memes, like, of the photo of the piano player of the band, like, with the glasses of Stevie Wonder. And I was like, come on, guys, like, let's just go for simplicity. And so that was a case when removing elements was the smart thing to do. And this is what happened. So I thought about this. And that was a mistake. This little thing that opened there, it was a mistake, and we left it. And here still they wanted the piano. I think we removed it in the last version. Yeah, that's kind of how it was. And then what we did in the end, what we left it, I think it stays the same. We didn't change it anymore. I opened even more space. I was even more aggressive about just to make it a lot more open. And I think we didn't took the pianos like at all. I convinced them to remove the pianos, but it took me like 3 weeks. It was like every MP3 you hear is 1 week. No, it's there, I think. I don't remember. No, we removed it, the piano. And that's so much better. And we made this mute bass. Yeah. That's kind of what happened there. I guess that the last thing I would talk for today, and I really will get my revenge on this lecture, and you will get some really good content for what happened today. I promise you. Let's see what happened in the end. I proposed, because I was listening a lot to this Mars Volta record, and the Mars Volta record has a lot of organs, and I was like, man, let's add a Hammond there, please. Like, and so we supported, we added like a really classic Hammond, like in this ending, right? I just felt that it was obvious. It's really cliche, but it was cool. I like how it works out. The other big work we did, like you can see here that this was the original guitars, and these are guitars that we re-recorded. So what happened there? The original guitar was this one. This was the original guitar from them. So for some reason, we just went this direction. I think that the solo was taking too much from it. And I remember something really important that I want to share with you. Like, when you open musical ideas, obviously you need to close them, right? So let me say something here. This is no, that was another idea that they rejected too. I remember. Yeah, I had proposed them something like, you see, like this solo starts with this phrase, this one. And I think it's a pretty I mean, clear melody that everybody can remember. And so I was proposing something which was like, let me just get out of this Hammond situation. Sorry, let me just get out of this Hammond situation. So this is a really long guitar solo. Instead of going and staying in this like phrase for 1,000,000 hours more, I was just like, guys, why don't we close that idea? But they didn't took this. We experimented with this for a while, and I was just like, why don't we go back to the beginning of the solo here? Like, you see, like I was proposing something kind of like that, like la, la, la. Something like that. But I think that it didn't went through. Like they didn't decide it. It was not exactly there. It was kind of where I wanted it. Was kind of and they said the Hammond there is really cool. crazy with the synths. We wrote a MOOC base for it. And then we also wrote this new synths here in the end. Yeah, this was my idea, remember? Yeah, this was my idea. So, again, today was a bit of a difficult day for me. I'm sorry. I don't like these lectures like that. I respect your time very much. I will find a way to compensate for the mistakes of today. And now the goal is that, I mean, what you have an idea of, maybe what you got from this encounter with me today was like, okay, kind of like that's what happened when a producer is working. I mean, I don't think that this was great. I don't think that you got any principle or any clear idea. It's just like, at least, maybe some of you have already seen something like this. Maybe some of you have never. At least you got to see a project of an actual producer that worked with the band and started adding an extra layers and elements to it in order to make the song more cool. The reason why I decided to make this lecture this year, I was not given this lecture before. I mean, I would like to prepare it better, but the concept of this lecture is production is not a remix. Because many people think that production is a remix. And then they go and they give like to an artist like a totally different song than what the artist had created, and the artist is like, whoa, what the fuck. There is a moment when you are famous and people come to you and you do whatever you want, and that's what they want, you know. But that's not our moment where we are. Like, in the case of Murakami, is the name of this band? There is this band called Murakami. It's like right now, it's a Russian band, like it's some rock pop band, like it's they're from Yekaterinburg. They contacted me to do some production, and I made some production, but I was too disrespectful to the original song, and I will document this case for you. Maybe we will do it next week. I mean, I have it all there. I have all the recording. I recorded all the production. It's a 6 hours video, like in my YouTube channel. You found it? Yeah, I don't like it. It's kind of like Zemfira 2.0 kind of thing. Like, it's very much like that. It's very much like Zemfira 2.0. And so they contacted me to make a song, and let me give you a flavor. Let me give you a flavor of what happened there, and then we go. And that's a good thing for production. Conversation, I think that's a good way to stop. But the point that I'm trying to make right now is like going too far away when you're not famous, or when you're not, when the look, even Telegram is not working today, like for some reason. What does undefined error means? Yeah, because I don't have the project in my hard drive, and what the hell? Update Telegram. Can you let me just log in, maybe? Let's see if it's possible. Yeah, by the way. Yeah. Yeah, this is gonna be cool. And then I can explain you what I did and what was my thought process there. I don't know what I gave yes to, but I have a joke that in a parallel universe, my lectures are just people looking at me for 3 hours, changing my password or trying to put my password. Like, there is a parallel universe in this. This is the only content of my lectures. It's just like me trying to put passwords. So, Murakami. Look, this is an unsuccessful case. I mean, it's a case in which I lost. I didn't got the client, like, and it just didn't work. It didn't work out between us. So, they sent me this, and you're gonna see, I went too far. I went too far from what they are, what they want, and they didn't want it me. They don't care about me at all. This is what they sent me. that's all they sent me, and they were like, make production to this. Okay, check this out. So I send them. This was option 1. I sent them 3 options. I fucking love it. I love it so much. I'm so angry, man. Like, it's amazing, but whatever. At all. Yeah, at all. This was option A, and this was my main concept. This was my main concept. This is what I wanted them to do. Yeah. Yeah, I love the explosion that comes next, like. Let's go to the chorus and. And you see, I send them 2 concepts of chorus, you know. They're totally different. This was the classic rock, super classic rock. Second concept of chorus was like more like new metal, new metal, like right? And then there was a concept C. After we spoke, they were like, listen, no, we are just a band who wants to be mainstream and want to be on the charts all the time. So please make something more simple. And I was already, they already told me that maybe they were not going to take Makaya and Jaranjerovka, so I already knew that this was a waste of time. And I just made a whatever third version. Like, it's closer to what they wanted, like, and made a super square version there. And the prepiev, I think I did the chorus. I did the super Ruski rock style. Yeah, I think I left here the same concept I had, and then the chorus, I think it was like the same concept I have too, like just really simple. So the reason why I showed you this Murakami is because I wanted to make a lecture only about this case, because I wanted you to read you the messages and see how it happens, like when some production relationship doesn't go well too. You see, I was too much of myself and they didn't care about me really, and that's something that I made as a mistake, you know. Maybe in the future somebody comes to me, so I make the song like that, but that's not what they wanted really. So And by the way, they didn't pay me anything, even though I sent them an invoice. I was like, guys, okay, this was 6 hours of work. It's 8,000 rubles. Like, and they just read the message and never answer it, you know, because the mentality here is like, but I'm not going to use your production, so why should I pay you? Some people are like that. And it's like, dude, but I mean, my son was sleeping while I was not there with him working for you, right? So why I don't get money? Whatever. This happened like a week ago, something like that. And it was in the middle of making the soundtrack. So in the middle of making the soundtrack, this band wrote me, and they are kind of big. So I was like, okay, this can be a good opportunity. But it went wrong. So, and that also happens. So, okay, guys, thank you once again. I'm sorry for today's PPS lecture, and I'll recover it somehow and give you some better material about this. I mean, something more structured that can take you some beef home. I really want us to do this production case. You already know what I want, kind of. So if you send me like a hip hop version of this, I will fail you on that. It has to be production. So I mean, I'm gonna hear like again, yeah. No, I'm trolling you. So thank you guys. Let's go to have a 40-minute break and then have another lecture.